So we're going to take a look at setting up. a server using Node.js, and we're going to hit that server through the browser and have it execute some function for us and return a result to the browser. Okay, so it's basically executing a function, which is the basis of all computing. If we can execute a remote function, we can do almost everything we need to do. Okay, so let's go to, this is our directory. I've already loaded Node, so I've got Node.js running or available, and let me put it so you can see it. I'm going to use git bash, and so this is my command window that we can operate in, and so I'm just going to check that Node exists. Here it is, 7 plus 3. Yep. Now, let me clear that off. Now what I want to do, I'm in a directory server 0. I want to create a package.json, and so I need to do npm init. npm init. So let's server naught. I'm just hitting return here. Entry point index.js, that's fine. Test command, I'm not having any tests. There's no git repository, no keywords, author John, and license MIT. Yeah, so this is set up. Package.json, here it is, and it's basically a brief description. So this is JSON, and you'll get used to this, and Node will read this to figure out what it needs. Okay, so we've got that. We're going to use a package called, clear this again. So we're going to use a package called Express, which will allow us to run a web server, a fairly vanilla web server. npm install Express. So it's fetching over the web, installing it. Okay, it may be complaining about some things, but it actually looks okay. They're just warnings. Let's not worry about that. So we have Express installed and we have Node installed. Now we're going to create a file, test.js. So there it is. We've got package.json and now test.js. I'm going to use my editor, and I'm going to use Sublime. So here we are, and so I've got test.js, and it's opened in the right place under the folder servers, and here. Now I'm going to write some code, and what I need to do first, I'm going to require Express. Okay, and now create an app that's, I'm going to execute Express and get a handle to that object called app. And now we want to do app.send, and this is going to so now we're going to do app.get, and this is going to catch incoming requests. Okay, so we're the web server and when a browser hits us, and if it just hits us with no path, this is our root path. And now we can write a function that's going to be executed, that's going to have a request and a response field and a body of the function. So inside this we can do anything we like now. So if our root path is hit, this function now will be executed and we can do anything we like. Let's just do something simple, and we're going to define a number that is going to use math.random. So that gives me a number between 0 and 1, and I'll multiply by 10 to get myself a number between 0 and 10, and I'm going to round it down. So now I've got an integer between 0 and 10, and I'm going to send back the response, and the response is going to be my lucky number is, and plus num. Okay, so we're just doing some kind of calculation. We could do things like we could go out on the web and get other documents, and we'll show you how to do that later, but for now we're just going to catch the incoming request and send back a response. And now and now what we're going to do is just app.listen, and we give a port to listen on, and we're going to use 3081. So that's our web server. Let's save it. And now let's go back to our command window. And now let's do node test.js. So now we've got a server running. Let's open a browser. So I've got a browser here, and let me do localhost, and instead of 8080 I'm going to do 3081. My lucky number is 7. If I reload, my lucky number is 6, 9, 4, 1, etc. So we could hit this service. If I put in an IP address for this, for my machine, I can hit this service remotely. So that's the basis of setting up a server and hitting it remotely. And we'll come back, and this is what we'll do on AWS, on Amazon Web Services, and this will give us the ability to scale our computations. Okay, so what we're doing here is we had, if I typed localhost 3081 or 3081/, it'll come up with my lucky number is 5. Now, there's a concept called routing, and we have app.get, and we put the root here. Now let's add another one. We're going to put /color, and this time we're going to say my lucky color is, I'm still going to have to use the number, but I'm going to say lucky color. Okay, so what this means is if I make a request to color 3081/color, now it says my lucky color is 5. It's executing a different function. Okay, so that will get me my lucky number is 5, and this, my lucky color is 9. So what's happening is now we can use different paths to execute different functions. and we could go on with this. So for example, we might have something like the about, and we might not bother with a random number. We might just send this site is about shipping, whatever. Okay, so let's save that. And now if we go back here, I need to kill that and reload it. Reload it. Now if we hit the website and say about, this site is about shipping. So we can execute many different functions using this concept of routing. Okay. Okay, so last time we saw that if we add a route to our request, so here we made color. If we delete the color part, we'll just get the plain lucky number. Now what I want to do is I want to go out and get data from another machine. So let's see how we do that. Okay, so here's the code we had before. We're using Express, and we set up a listener that's listening on 3081, and there was our route to get the color. Now what we're going to do is add another route. So let's bring this code up. Now I want to make an HTTP request to another machine. So we need to use HTTP, right? We must require HTTP. And here I'm saying that if the root is MIT, I'm going to call this function, right? And this function, I'm going to have the host of these options as www.mit.edu, and that's going to be it. There's going to be no other part to the path. Now, this is going to get called down here. We're going to make a request, HTTP request. We're going to pass the options, and we want to pass in a callback. And here's the callback function. Okay, the callback is going to take an argument response, and if this chunk of data has been received, we're going to append it to this string. Okay, so if a chunk comes in, we append it to this string. Now, if there's no more data coming in, then we go to this response on end, and we now send that string back to the browser that requested it. Okay, so this is our, we've seen rest.send, and here now we're sending back the string. So we're going to hit the MIT website and send back whatever we've received from the website. Okay, so let's save that, and we go back to here. Let me get out of that and bring up now again. So we're listening on 3081. Let's go to 3081. Here we are. Okay, its lucky number is 8. If I repeat it, lucky number is 6, etc. But now suppose I add the path MIT. Boom. So now we've gone out and got a whole load of stuff from the MIT website and returned it to you. So from our server, we can now reach out and get data from other websites. That's pretty powerful. Okay.